boys and girls. Last week I introduced a special surprise during our Zoom session, and the surprise were this cup of caterpillars. And they started out really small. Well, even before they reached my home, they started out as little eggs. A butterfly laid an egg, and then that egg hatched, and they were teeny tiny caterpillars, and since then they have definitely gotten bigger. And I'll be showing you some clearer pictures in a little bit. There's a lot of mess within the cup because they're very busy doing what they're supposed to be doing in order to transform into butterflies. So I'm going to lay that down very gently. And I have a book today called Butterfly Spring, because we are now in the springtime. And in the springtime, things begin to bloom, flowers grow, the leaves start to appear back on the trees since they fell from the fall time season and the winter time. So this story is called Butterfly Spring. It was written by Robin Kuntz, and it was illustrated by Rebecca Elliott. So it took a team of 2 people to create the pages in this story. So let's take a look into Butterfly Spring. It's a rhyming story, so I wonder if your ears can hear the rhyming words in this story as I read. Early one morning, I wake up and I shout, "I'm trapped in a chrysalis and I want to get out." This is called a chrysalis. I'll talk to you more about that in a little bit. I twist and I turn slowly. I stretch my legs wide. The chrysalis cracks open and I wriggle outside. I'm wet and I'm cold, so I turn to the sun. My wings start to unfold and I'm ready for some fun. In spring, I hatched out from a big mass of eggs. I munched on green grass, and I had lots of legs. But now things have changed. Now I know how to fly. I can zig, I can zag, I can soar through the sky. I see others fly past. I watch where they go. Some of them land on bright flowers below. I too fly to flowers. I taste with my feet. I sip a red blossom. Oh my, what a treat! I look at my face in a small drop of dew. I'm amazed to see that I look so brand new. A friendly voice says, "We should go for a ride." We soar with the wind, we fly high, and we glide. We spy some more flowers, we swirl to them with glee. In a field full of blossoms, we both go on a spree. They're just moving from flower to flower. And like you said, they're tasting with their feet. Their little feet taste everything. They're learning with their feet. More friends come join us. We sip sweet, yummy blooms. Watch out, someone cries as a dark shadow looms. What could that dark shadow be? I wonder, I have some different ideas. What do you think? We all flutter away just before the attack. The cat was sure looking to have us for a snack. So that darkness was the shadow of a cat ready to pounce on the butterflies, which I can relate because when we were outside the other day, Charlie was just pouncing all over the place and we didn't quite know what he was pouncing at. And finally we got closer to him and he had a butterfly in his mouth. So We had to remove the butterfly, and just in time before it kept him from being able to fly any longer. So we saved him. Charlie was being curious. We find a safe place when the day turns to night. My friends and I sleep under leaves, out of sight. Needing to stay away from predators. They have to find a safe place. Just like your home is a safe place, the butterflies have to have a safe place too. In the morning we wake and warm our cool wings. We take to the air to see what the day brings. We flap and we flutter, we zoom in a warm breeze. We swirl and we tumble and zigzag through trees. Have such a carefree life. And I'm glad they found friends with one another. We slurp colorful blooms and sip from a mud puddle. We rest in cool shade, all of us in a huddle. Keeping each other safe, working together to keep each other safe. Some of my new friends lay their eggs in a mass, and soon babies will hatch and munch on the green grass. A caterpillar will grow, and she'll gaze to the sky. Like me, soon she'll be a brand new butterfly. So I'm really excited to show you day by day what happens to our new visitors. And I'll be again showing you some pictures and talking you through what's happening. But there are 5 caterpillars in this cup. I ordered it through Insect Lore, and they sent the caterpillars to me. And all of this at the bottom was actually flat, and it was food. And every single day for the last 6 days, they've been munching on that food. And they've been getting bigger and bigger, and you'll be able to see that in the pictures, how small they started and how large they've gotten since then. This little guy right here, it's difficult to see through the cup because they've kind of made a mess of their room. But the caterpillar has formed the letter J. His body is forming into the letter J. And that means it's almost time for him to spin his chrysalis. And in the cup, you'll see lots of brown little dots. That's their food. And the black dots is their poop, because everybody poops. So I hope you enjoy the pictures. I'll keep sending you pictures too, and watching them as you watch them grow. And then eventually they'll all be chrysalids, and we'll move them, transport them back into a net and let them emerge when they're ready, and you'll see butterflies, and we'll get to release them together. Have a great day, boys and girls. Go outside, see if you can find some chrysalids and some butterflies around where you live, and I will see you later. Love you. Bye. This is day 1, the day I received them in the mail. I ordered them from a company called Insect Lore. The caterpillars came in a cup, and at the bottom you see brown. That's actually their food, and they start munching away at this food. Can you see how small they are? There are 5 caterpillars that we'll be watching grow every single day. This is day 2. The caterpillars are still small, but you'll notice there's lots of webbing in the cup. They look like webs. So that's a good sign that there are webs in the cup. The webbing actually protects the caterpillars from any dangers, and they use the webbing to stick to their host plants so that the wind doesn't easily blow them off the leaves. They also use that silk to pull leaves around themselves to hide from predators that might want to eat them. They still create these webbings even though they're nice and safe in this cup. This is day 3. The caterpillars are just busy continuing to make that web, and you can see some more debris at the bottom. That brown stuff is the food, and so when you see the brown little balls around the cup, that's them munching away and leaving kind of the leftovers there. However, if you see the little black balls there, that's actually called frass, which is a fancy word for the word poop. It's caterpillar poop. As they eat, they poop. This is day 4. You can see that the caterpillars are significantly much larger than on day 1. Didn't take much time. I mean, that's all they've been doing is eating and eating and eating. You can see some of the little food balls sticking on the cup, and you can see a lot more webbing. So they're preparing their bodies, they're preparing their environment for the transformation. And you can see all that caterpillar, especially the one that's sticking to the cup, he's much larger than he was on day 1. We skipped a day and jumped over to day 6. You can see there's a lot more debris mess in the cup. They're really working hard to eat on a daily basis. They're much larger. What's exciting though is you see that caterpillar hanging from the lid, and you can see I've drawn the letter J, because as the caterpillars begin to climb to the top and they spin a little web to stick themselves to the lid, they start to form their bodies into the shape of a J. And once all of them have done that, then the next step is to see them turn into a chrysalis. And that looks like what many people call a cocoon. A cocoon and a chrysalis is actually very different. A cocoon is something we refer to when we talk about moths. So it's mistakenly used, but they're used so interchangeably. So this is a monarch butterfly. So he's actually going to be making a chrysalis. Because he is not a moth, so he does not make a cocoon. So when you read stories, sometimes it'll say cocoon, and I like to correct it, if it's a monarch butterfly, into the word chrysalis. So pretty soon, boys and girls, will be seeing all of the caterpillars transform into the letter J, and then pretty soon after that, they're going to be spinning their chrysalis. On day 7, we now have all 5 caterpillars hanging from the lid, just like the first who had spun his web. That way he could create a J shape with his body. The other 4 followed and are all now hanging from the lid. Now the next step is to wait for them to turn into a chrysalis. This is day 8. We started off with 5 caterpillars. The J shape shows the one caterpillar that still needs to turn into a chrysalis. But excitingly, the arrow shows the other 4 that have turned into chrysalids, and most of them overnight, so we weren't able to see the process. Stay tuned, boys and girls. I'll be sending pictures and videos of our transforming caterpillars until they turn into butterflies. So keep looking out for some videos, keep looking out for some pictures, and I can't wait for you to continue to see their transformation.